Hi everyone, I worked with a really great group of executives yesterday. They are all bright, really focused, very capable people. One or two of them asked me about sleep, and so I've come on today to talk to you about the top 5 tips for getting better sleep. Now, these aren't the only ones, but they are the ones that really struck home when we were talking yesterday. And I think the first one, please, is try and see whether or not before you end your day, you write down the one thing or the first thing, the ideal first thing, that you would really like to get done the following day, because my belief is that what is down on paper is then dumped from your brain. Now, ideally, there wouldn't be any point in you then starting the chomping process of problem solving that thing. You simply write it down so that it's no longer there, it's on your to-do for the morning, and it's the first thing that you start to hit the ground running with. Now, the second tip that I've got for you is that I really believe it's not so much about switching off, which I think is quite unrealistic for top execs, because really we've got brains that are rather like targeted darts. Now, you've probably heard me say this before. When we do this, it means we problem solve and make decisions almost 24/7, and we do so at home, at work, in all sorts of situations, including when we're out and about. So switching that off isn't really realistic. It's like asking the brain to do something it can't do. But trying to slow down or do less in the evenings is critical to at least asking less of the system. So the second thing that I would say is start by 7 p.m. at the absolute latest, and watch out for anything that really helps you relax or helps you get at least towards relaxing. That could be sitting down and having a hug with your kids. It could be playing with them on the floor if you've got little ones. It could be reading a book, watching the TV, zoning out. Try to see whether or not you can begin the process of calming your brain down, and preferably, please, not too much of checking the phone. Now, the third thing, which I believe in very strongly, is the fact that most people don't realise stress leaches magnesium from your muscles, which makes them super tight, and when they're super tight, you literally have a kind of feeling as if you can't sleep because you're aggravated and your body is too tense. So a really quick fix for this, about 3 nights in a row, is to use Epsom salts. Now, if you've never used them, they're not the type that you take orally, which is what used to be used as an enema by our grandparents, but it's the type that looks like this, Westlab being a case in point. You can get this from Amazon or any large boots or chemists. And you're looking for the type of Epsom salts that go in the bath. They're often fronted as well as a sports thing. And this eases out the tension in the muscles, it soothes out the cortisol knots, and this makes you feel a lot better, and you're able to sleep really on the back of that. And if you don't have a bath, please do consider, you can purchase this from Amazon. It's called Mega Mag Calmies. It comes in a couple of different flavours. It's made by the company Nutri, and I find this one is really useful. You stick a teaspoon or so in water, not much higher than this, and you drink it down roughly 20 minutes before you go to sleep. It's a game changer for a lot of people. Now, other than that, please, I would genuinely recommend get your room as cool as possible, because staying cool makes you go cozy. That makes you snug, and that makes you get warm but not overly hot where you're throwing off the covers. And then the 5th recommendation really is to get it as dark as possible as well. This, without pushing it home the point, would be blackout curtains or even an eye mask. Because at the moment, for example, I wake at 5 a.m. because it's light, but at least I'm waking refreshed, so my day is still quite full, in fact very full, but I'm feeling pretty good as I do it. So there is a difference between the length of your sleep and the depth of it. If you can get a decent night, but you get it short because you sleep deeply, that can be just as refreshing. Now, the final hint then within that is, if that's really not fixable, head for melatonin rather than a doctor's remedy, simply because the actual sleeping tablets are a big pain. They take quite a long time to recover from, and you don't want that feeling of jet lag in your brain and brain fog. So, hope those are useful. Give them a try, everyone. Reach out if you need a bit more info, and we'll put the links to these two on the bottom of this video. Take care.